The Hive awakens. In the dark expanse beyond Neptune, a faint pulse shimmered across the sensors of the Solarion Recon Station. At first, it appeared to be cosmic radiation, a common, mundane phenomenon. But as days passed, the pattern sharpened, a rhythm that could not be random. It pulsed like a heartbeat, deliberate and intelligent. Dr. Alara Rao, chief astrophysicist, leaned over the holographic display. "This isn't natural," she muttered, eyes scanning the anomaly. "It's aware, it knows we're here." Her assistant, Jorin, swallowed hard. "Aware? You mean an alien intelligence?" "Yes," Rao said grimly. "And it's enormous." The first glimpse. Probes sent toward the signal vanished within hours. Then, fragmented transmissions returned, a glimpse of a massive, biomechanical structure, darker than the void, covered with pulsating green veins of energy. It moved with uncanny coordination, a hive-like organism. Humanity's first contact was not friendly. Admiral Rena Solas convened the Solarion Fleet aboard the flagship Ascendant. Military leaders, scientists, and representatives of Earth's coalition gathered in tense silence. "They're approaching Mars," Solas said, voice measured, yet steely. "This isn't just an attack, it's a calculated advance. A hive collective, intelligent and adaptive. If we don't act, Earth will be next." A murmur ran through the room. "Hive, like insects?" a junior officer asked hesitantly. "No," Solas replied. "Far worse. They evolve, adapt, and learn faster than we can. They test us. And now, we face them." Humanity mobilizes. Humanity's fleets launched toward Mars. Orbital stations were armed with railguns, plasma cannons, and experimental energy weapons. But the Hive did not attack like a traditional enemy. Thousands of drones, sleek and biomechanical, moved as one. Ships were surrounded, torn apart before they could react. Captain Elias Marr of the frigate Resolute barked orders. "Evasive maneuvers. Shields at maximum." A single Hive drone, the size of a shuttle, rammed the starboard hull, tearing through layers of reinforced plating. Yet, for every loss, humanity adapted. The fleet studied every drone movement, cataloging patterns. Unlike the Hive, humans were unpredictable. They learned, improvised, and innovated in ways the Hive could not anticipate. Civilian heroism. On Mars, colonies faced terror firsthand. Civilians were evaluated, yet many refused to leave, helping engineers retrofit mining equipment into weapons, constructing makeshift barricades, and coordinating emergency shelters. The Hive's drones caused chaos, but humans' adaptability began to turn the tide. In New Dakar, a retired soldier rallied volunteers. "We may be outgunned," he said, raising a plasma cannon high, "but we have ingenuity. We fight, because Earth deserves defenders." The Hive reveals its nature. Dr. Rao analyzed the data streaming from destroyed probes. "The Hive isn't simply attacking," she said. "It's learning. Every tactic, every strategy we use, it observes and adapts. The Queen Node is orchestrating everything. One mind controls the swarm." Salas's jaw tightened. "Then we must innovate faster than it can. Humanity's strength lies in creativity, unpredictability, and willpower. That is our weapon." The first skirmish. The Hive launched its first assault on Mars colonies. Orbital bombardments lit the night sky, and massive drones tore through human defenses. But humans fought back fiercely. Engineers deployed stealth fighters and improvised energy traps. Civilians guided fleeing colonists through improvised tunnels, using knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the Hive. Every loss taught the fleet something new. Every innovation became a countermeasure. Humanity was learning faster than the Hive expected. Captain Marr shouted over the comms, "We can do this. Follow the patterns, anticipate the drones, strike as one." And slowly, the tide turned. Hive drones were destroyed in coordinated strikes, and human ingenuity proved a formidable force. A spark of defiance. Despite casualties and devastation, humanity had survived the first wave. Mars lay scarred, orbital stations battered, but human resilience had held. Solas addressed her fleet. This is only the beginning. The Hive will return, stronger and faster. But we endure. We adapt. We fight. Every soldier, every scientist, every civilian, you are the guardians of humanity. Together, we will prove that Earth will not fall. Outside the Ascendant, stars glittered cold and distant. Yet in the hearts of humanity, a fire burned brighter than the cosmic darkness. The Hive had awakened. Humanity would rise to meet it. Earth would fight. And the Solarion Fleet would stand as its eternal guardian. Shadows in the void. The Hive had learned. Humanity's victories at Mars had been impressive, but the alien collective adapted with terrifying speed. Where brute force had failed, stealth and infiltration became their new strategy. Shadow drones, nearly invisible to human sensors, slipped into orbital stations, research hubs, and civilian colonies. Chaos followed in their wake. At the Titan Research Array, Dr. Ilara Rao and her team worked frantically. Systems flickered, alarms blared, and energy readings spiked. Shadow drones had infiltrated the facility, releasing corrosive fluids that melted hulls and sabotaged life support systems. Panic spread among the staff. "We need evac protocols immediately," Rao shouted, coordinating with engineers to convert mining vehicles into escape pods. The drones moved with precision, avoiding automated defenses and targeting every human weakness. Humanity's ingenuity was being tested in the harshest possible way. The Solarion Fleet responds. Admiral Rena Solas convened the fleet aboard the Ascendant. Her calm, resolute voice cut through the tension. "They've changed tactics," she said. "Stealth. Infiltration. Sabotage. They are learning from us. But humans are unpredictable. We will exploit that." Commander Cade Vare nodded. "Our advantage is adaptability. They can predict our technology, but not human creativity. We implement new sensor sweeps, decoys, and counter-infiltration measures. We strike where they least expect it." Solas issued fleet-wide orders, alert every colony and orbital station. Humanity must act as one. The Hive's shadows were everywhere, but unified human ingenuity could counteract them. Civilian courage. On Mars, civilians transformed from frightened colonists into heroes. Engineers rigged energy grids into defensive turrets. Farmers repurposed mining tools as plasma cannons. Children assisted in relaying communications between isolated units. Humanity's strength was not in its weapons alone, but in its creativity, unity, and courage. A retired soldier in New Dakar organized volunteers to defend a key communication hub. "We may not have a fleet," he said, voice firm, "but we have heart. That will be enough to hold the Hive at bay." Meanwhile, Dr. Rao's team discovered a faint energy signature left behind by the cloaked drones. Using it, they created detection grids that could track the Hive's shadow swarm, turning invisibility into vulnerability. The Hive strikes. The Hive's shadow swarm Alpha emerged from the void. Cloaked drones attacked orbital stations, sabotaging weapons, navigation, and communications. Human forces struggled as the drones phased in and out of visibility, striking unpredictably. Captain Elias Marr realized the severity of the threat aboard Luna Station. "They're inside our systems. Shields, communications, weapons, they're using them against us." Solas's orders were clear: adapt and improvise. They can anticipate firepower, but they cannot anticipate human ingenuity. Find their weakness. Exploit it. We survive because we think beyond their algorithms. Coordinated countermeasures. The Solarion Fleet deployed specialized teams to intercept the shadow swarm. Stealth fighters equipped with energy pulses and tracking arrays engaged the cloaked drones. Boarding pods infiltrated Hive tendrils, destroying nodes from within. Every victory came with a cost, but each success weakened the Hive's grip. On Earth, civilians assisted orbital forces by directing energy grids and activating improvised satellite defenses. Each act of bravery became a weapon in humanity's arsenal, demonstrating that humans were more than their technology, they were a force of creativity and willpower. The Queen Node moves. Rao's analysis revealed a terrifying truth: the Hive Queen Node was advancing toward Earth's orbit. Unlike drones, its psychic presence radiated across space, attempting to control human minds and spread confusion. The Queen Node isn't just attacking, Rao warned. It's preparing a full-scale assault. If it reaches Earth unchallenged, billions could be lost. Solas clenched her fist. Then we stop it before it reaches the cradle of humanity. Every human, ship, and resource will be the shield. We do not cower in the dark. We face it head-on. Humanity's ingenuity. Using new detection grids, stealth fighters coordinated precision strikes. Hive drones, once untouchable, were forced into exposed positions. Improvised weapons, daring maneuvers, and civilian ingenuity neutralized the Queen Node's psychic assaults in localized sectors. On Mars, a young engineer rerouted mining lasers to create a concentrated energy beam that destroyed an entire cluster of Shadow Swarm drones. Across Luna, retired pilots executed surprise flanking maneuvers that crippled Hive nodes. Every act of ingenuity, courage, and determination contributed to humanity's counterattack. Turning the tide. Though the Hive remained formidable, the human resistance proved resilient. Shadow Swarm losses mounted, and the Queen Node's psychic influence weakened. Humanity's unpredictability frustrated the Hive, forcing it to overextend and regroup. Solas addressed her fleet. They think they are unstoppable. But humans are adaptable, inventive, and fearless. We endure. We fight. And we rise stronger with every challenge. The first major engagement ended with the Hive retreating temporarily. Humanity had survived, though not without sacrifice. Orbital stations were damaged, colonies scarred, and thousands of lives were lost. A glimmer of hope. Despite the devastation, humanity had learned valuable lessons. Shadow Swarm infiltration tactics were catalogued. Detection grids had improved. Civilian courage had proven vital. And the Solarion Fleet had demonstrated that even against an adaptive, intelligent Hive, human ingenuity could prevail. Solas looked out across the stars from the bridge of the Ascendant. The Hive's tendrils had cast shadows across the solar system, but humanity's light burned brighter. Earth remained safe for now, but the war was far from over. They will return, she said softly. Stronger, faster, more relentless. But we are ready. We endure. We fight. And we will rise again. The void was still, for now. Humanity had weathered the shadow's strike. The Hive had learned, but humans had adapted faster. The stage was set for the ultimate defense of Earth. Guardians of Earth. The Hive had arrived. Massive biomechanical leviathans and swarming drones filled Earth's orbit, blotting out the stars with their sheer numbers. Below, humanity braced for the inevitable invasion. Cities were fortified, orbital defenses armed, and the Solarion Fleet deployed in strategic formations. Admiral Rena Solas stood on the bridge of the Ascendant, her eyes scanning the holographic battle map. This is it, she said, voice firm. They aim for Earth. Every drone, every leviathan, every spire, they are converging on the cradle of humanity. We will not falter. Commander Cade Vare nodded. We've prepared as best we can. Now, the ingenuity of every human, soldier, engineer, and civilian will be our greatest weapon. Orbital engagement. The Solarion Fleet engaged the Hive immediately. Plasma beams and railgun fire tore through clusters of drones, but for every drone destroyed, 2 more took its place. Leviathans descended toward the oceans, creating tsunamis that swallowed coastal cities. Hive spires orbited like dark sentinels, projecting psychic energy designed to destabilize human coordination. Captain Elias Marr maneuvered his frigate through a gauntlet of Hive fire. Steady. Focus on the spires. Every strike counts. His squadron followed with precision, using the unpredictability of human tactics to outmaneuver the Hive. On the ground, civilians assisted orbital operations by activating energy relays, guiding evacuation routes, and converting city infrastructure into defensive systems. Humanity's resilience was evident not only in soldiers, but in engineers, scientists, and ordinary citizens alike. Psychic assault. The Queen Node's psychic presence radiated outward, attempting to control minds and sow discord. Several human units faltered, hesitant to follow commands. Solas issued orders calmly but firmly: focus. Use our countermeasures. Humanity is unpredictable. Do not let fear control you. Dr. Rao activated newly developed psychic shields, protecting fleet personnel and key stations. Engineers repurposed city power grids to reinforce defenses, neutralizing the Queen Node's influence in critical zones. Humanity's adaptability allowed them to resist the Hive's most insidious attacks. Civilian and soldier heroism. In New Dakar, volunteers converted agricultural machinery into energy turrets. Across Tokyo, students and engineers rerouted city power to orbital defense satellites. On Mars, survivors of earlier skirmishes guided reinforcements through damaged colonies. Every citizen became a guardian. Every act of ingenuity, rigging satellites, redirecting energy beams, or improvising weapons, contributed to Earth's defense. The Hive was powerful, but humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was humanity's greatest weapon. The turning point. Solas coordinated a decisive counterstrike. Using stealth fighters and orbital railguns, the Solarion Fleet targeted Hive spires that directed drone swarms. Each spire destroyed disrupted the Hive's coordination, forcing its drones to act independently. Captain Mar led a squadron on a daring mission to infiltrate a Hive leviathan using boarding pods. Explosions erupted from within as crews sabotaged core nodes. The Hive, though adaptive, could not anticipate the creativity and boldness of human strategy. Meanwhile, on Earth, civilians guided evacuations, repaired infrastructure, and deployed improvised weapons to assist fleet operations. Humanity's unity, courage, and resourcefulness proved to be a formidable defense, even against an alien intelligence that adapted faster than conventional weapons could respond. Sacrifice and strategy. Despite the successes, the cost was high. Several Solarion vessels were destroyed. Thousands of human lives were lost. Entire cities suffered devastation from Hive assaults. But humanity's response was relentless. Each loss inspired renewed strategy, innovation, and determination. Solas addressed the fleet: we fight not only with weapons, but with every human thought, every improvisation, and every act of courage. This is our strength. Sacrifice will be remembered, but survival requires action. We endure together. Using combined orbital and planetary strategies, humanity created kill zones where Hive drones were funneled into traps. Plasma beams, energy pulses, and improvised explosives tore through the swarms. Drones fell in staggering numbers. Leviathans were forced back. Hive nodes were systematically destroyed. Humanity's ingenuity. In the heat of battle, humans showcased their ingenuity. Dr. Rao's detection grids exposed cloaked drones. Engineers repurposed mining lasers into orbital defense cannons. Pilots executed coordinated maneuvers previously thought impossible. Ordinary civilians played crucial roles, guiding reinforcements, repairing infrastructure, and sustaining communication networks. The Hive, despite its advanced intelligence, struggled to adapt to the unpredictability and creativity of humans. Each tactic they deployed was countered by human innovation. Every psychological attack was neutralized by determination, discipline, and ingenuity. Preparing for the final assault. As the Hive weakened, intelligence confirmed the Queen Node's direct approach toward Earth. The alien psychic core aimed to destroy humanity's unity, attempting a final strike against both morale and command structure. Solas gathered her officers. The Queen Node is coming. We've pushed them back, but now we face their central force. Our combined strategy, fleet, civilians, and planetary defenses must hold until we can strike decisively. Humanity stands, or humanity falls. Vare clenched his fists. We will not falter. Every human alive today is a guardian. Every act of ingenuity is a weapon. Earth will not fall. A glimmer of hope. By the end of the chapter, Earth had survived the Hive's assault. Drones were destroyed, leviathans repelled, and key spires obliterated. Though cities were scarred and lives lost, the spirit of humanity remained unbroken. Solas gazed out at the horizon, stars glittering above a battered but resilient planet. The Hive had been pushed back, but the Queen Node remained, preparing for its ultimate attack. Humanity had proven that courage, ingenuity, and unity were weapons as deadly as any plasma cannon or railgun. They will return, Solas whispered, but we are ready. We endure, we fight, and we will rise again. Earth's guardians had proven themselves. Humanity had survived the shadows and the void, but the final battle was yet to come.